Number 1. Roswell, New Mexico. One of the most famous UFO incidents in history occurred at Roswell in 1947, when an unidentified flying object crashed near the town, and the US military itself initially reported this object as a, quote, flying disc. They later changed their description to a weather balloon. Number 2. White Sands Missile Range. This military testing facility in southern New Mexico has been the site of numerous missile and rocket tests. It's also located near the Trinity site, where the first atomic bomb was detonated in 1945. White Sands continues to be a hub for UFO activity. Number 3. Kiertland Air Force Base. This major US Air Force base has been the subject of UFO sightings. Some believe that experimental aircraft and secretive military projects could be responsible for some of the sightings in the region. Number 4. Holloman Air Force Base. Located near Alamogordo, New Mexico, another significant Air Force base in the area. It has also been linked to UFO sightings, with some suggesting that advanced aircraft testing may be mistaken for UFOs. Number 5. Dulce. This small town in northern New Mexico has gained attention due to alleged underground bases and claims of extraterrestrial encounters. Number 6. Manzano Mountains. Some UFO reports have come from this mountain range, which is close to Kiertland Air Force Base. The rugged terrain and remote location may contribute to the unusual sightings. Number 7. Socorro, New Mexico. In 1964, Sergeant Lonnie Zamora was in pursuit of a speeding vehicle when something in the sky caught his eye. This object was so perplexing to him that he decided to abandon his pursuit and instead pursue it. After seeing it land in an arroyo, he continued to approach it, with his eyes deceiving him, telling him that this had to be some sort of vehicle that was overturned in the dirt. But as he got closer, he realized this was no car. Instead, what he saw was an egg-shaped object resting in the dirt amongst its landing gear, and beside it, what he described as 2 large, childlike beings in white coveralls. As he exited his vehicle and realized what he was looking at, he became frightened and called for backup. As he was doing so, he heard a loud roar and witnessed brilliant blue flames emitting from the egg-shaped object, which was now in the air. Before he knew it, the craft was gone, and when backup arrived, he had no choice but to describe what it was that he witnessed that day. I didn't know about this incident, unfortunately, while I was staying in Socorro. Otherwise, I would have gone to the site. It should be noted that the site that is public is not the actual landing site of this craft. In fact, it's a facade, and the real landing site is said to be close by it. I don't even know where to begin with this, because the list I just read you all, there's so much about it that I can say. And I'll start with White Sands. White Sands is very close to where I live. It's actually like 30 minutes to the east. And I happen to know somebody who will remain nameless who does work at White Sands. And this guy is constantly sending me photos of the objects in the sky that he is witness to on a weekly basis. While he and I share differing opinions about what these crafts are and the nature of the beings that operate them, one thing is certain: we both believe 100% that these are real anomalies. Since I've moved to Las Cruces, New Mexico, I've had an acquaintance, well, we'll call her a sibling, that is highly enthusiastic about these sightings. And in fact, every time she comes to visit, she passes by a place just west of here called Deming, New Mexico. And for a period of time, every time she came to visit, she would see this rectangular object hovering in the same position as she drove by. I've since been to and from, and I've never seen this object, unfortunately. But what I did see firsthand in the middle of the desert, passing through, you guessed it, white sands, was a flying disc that I barely caught on video. My girlfriend and I were on our way back from seeing Ludacris a couple of months ago in Ruidoso, New Mexico. And to get to and from there, you actually have to drive past Alamogordo and White Sands. And I shit you not, as we're driving, we're listening to the episode of Joe Rogan where he's talking to Gabriel Iglesias. And as soon as they start talking about UFOs, I look to my right and I see a flat black object hovering in the sky, gliding against the horizon. I pointed it out to my girlfriend who was driving, and I proceeded to record.
I think maybe if aliens are real, I think you'd be interested.
That thing's moving really fast. Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Can you see it better on your thing?
No, I can't see it at all, but maybe when I get home I can. What the f?
Okay, it's November 1st, and I'm editing this video, and as I'm going through this footage here of us in the car in White Sands, I just noticed a second flying disc in the video. I guess we were too focused on where this one disappeared into the clouds. I lost it.
It's like pretty far gone. I can barely see it.
What the f was that?
I don't know, but it's White Sands.
And we're right in UFO country.
As a person who has been a UFO enthusiast all his life, I had never seen anything legitimate until I moved to New Mexico 3 years ago at 28 years old. And it just so happens that two of these things were captured in Socorro. One day my brother and I were driving back from Walmart, I believe, and we see a glowing object in the distance.
Sort of appear and disappear, and then we saw it again in a completely different area. The valleys are too wide apart to tell like what the No. Sort of changed positions there. Oh, it's like it's moving. Oh, again. Huh, it's in the air. Because that can't traverse that land that fast. That's a lot of distance.
Yeah.
It's pretty far, yeah.
Did you catch it on your phone?
Possibly. I mean, my phone's definitely aimed at it, but I don't know if it's...
I think it's about that from
It continued to seemingly fade in and out several miles away. My hope was to get to my brother's house at the time and continue recording. Unfortunately, this didn't happen, and I never looked back at this footage because honestly, I was fairly certain that this thing was so far away that there was no way I would capture it. My memories of it, however, were a little different because as I was reviewing this footage, I was fully expecting for it to be broad daylight, and my brain was already thinking of reasons that this was not a legitimate, unidentified object, thinking that the sun had to have been out and it could have very easily been a glare against the plane. But as you can see, this was not a sunny day.
flickering on.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, it was...
Yep. So we're trying to see if we see it again. like in the sky above the, slightly above the mountain. It's not like not even like
Just barely?
Yeah, just barely above it. Like not even.
You guys remember when I heard the growls? It was this night that I peered out the window and began recording. This was the window of my niece's bedroom. And as I was recording, I captured something that I did not recognize at the time. I don't know how I didn't notice it, but it happened. You can see there's two lights in the distance. One of them appears to be a glare on the window, and the other seems to be unidentified. That's sort of right.
Oh, like right in the middle, right?
Yeah. What is that? Do you know? It's a weird,
It's outside. It's not inside.
No, yeah, it's not. It's like not even a pinpoint of light like lights are. What the f is that?
What the?
They're rectangular.
Holy shit. Dude, what the? There's another.
They
third
literally
one.
just popped.
There's a third one behind. There's three of them. That's not a house, dude. There's no house that this way has a house.
What in the f is there? My brother and I saw this in the moment, and we were sort of freaked out about it. And we recorded for a bit and decided to record again in the morning to see if there were any houses in the distance or lights. Last night we saw these lights. Neither of us could really remember what the hell is past this field here that's outside. There's Justin and Brianna's yard, and then there's a field. It's not theirs, and then there's a area that we couldn't remember what was what. So I wake up this morning and I come out here immediately to see what it was we were looking at last night, because they looked like windows or something. And here's what we have. It's a damn house, people. How has Justin ever noticed this house, right? I guess we're so used to looking in all directions, seeing nothing, that it's just never crossed our minds to think that there's a house there. But there is. And those are the windows we're looking at. There's a window, the three windows are right here. So, nothing spooky. As I was recording the night before, I caught something that I wouldn't notice until 3 years later, just the other day. Okay, it is October 16th, 2023. I'm reviewing, so right now I'm making the third episode of The Witching Hour. And I'm reviewing footage, and the whole time I'm creeped out I'm creeped out that I'm gonna see something in the footage that I know was not there. I'm creeped out I'm gonna accidentally capture an EVP, or there's gonna be somebody standing or something. Okay, this is okay. So I'm looking at this video. I'm standing in his room at night, and I'm looking out the window. I don't exactly remember this specific night, although I do remember plenty of things like that happening. And I'm looking out the window, looking for Bella, I guess. I guess my eyes are toward the ground. But clearly, I would have seen this. I would have seen this if it happened in front of my eyes. But there is a light, a disc, I guess, that just shoots across the lower horizon. Okay, so at this, I know all this footage. I know where things are in the placement, and so I know it's hard for you guys to see. A strange glowing object, just like the one that I had seen in the daytime, emerges seemingly out of nothing, streaks across the sky, and disappears. I was so perplexed when I saw this, and if you look closely, you can actually see some sort of plume as it sort of poofs into reality. Now, based on this footage from the daytime, this object had to be small and close. And I don't have any type of explanation for this. I'm actually pretty stoked that I caught that. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about. This one makes me smile.
Never moved.
Yeah, it was breezy that night.
It
and
just
the cloud
stayed there.
Speaking of that cloud, and like, I was telling Justin the other day that a thought popped in my brain. I was like, you guys have missing cows. And it's like,
We also
wouldn't it
have
be hilarious if we abducted their cow, just like they draw in the cartoons?
Right?
Like,
There's like another fucking
Never
cows.
know. Yeah. We're missing 2 cows and
my other siblings corroborate visiting their house from time to time and meeting these cows. Now, when I went there, these cows were long gone. And where they went, nobody knows. If you want to hear more context to these stories, you can follow my brother on the Witching Hour YouTube channel. Whilst I'll continue uploading these episodes here, he is also creating additional content. So be sure to show him some support. Thank you all for 2,000 subscribers. I hope to continue delivering. Until next time, don't forget to lock your doors.